a gentleman by the name of Tony Lionni got in touch with me through camera and asked me to review his photographs. So he sent me this link, and it's a Flickr link, and I'm going to have a little look through his work. This is Tony, and there's an interview with him with Days Magazine, Days Digital, Free Range House. Tony's a British producer. I think he's a DJ, and he does, as Days have said, a refreshing breed of clever electronic music and joyous house anthems. Brilliant. I'd like to see more. So that's his interview in Dazed. This is his Flickr site. So I love looking at people's work, and I'm going to give an honest account. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm not really familiar with Flickr, I have to admit. I've never really taken to it. I've never really understood the point of it, to be honest. But let's have a look at it. And let's see, I can see there's some nice, there's some lovely portraits. So I guess in first instance, let's have a look. There's 192 photographs here. So in first instance, I can see that Tony likes black and white. He likes street photography, and he focuses on interesting faces and characters. There's some music stuff. I can see a sort of Robert Frank style picture there. Okay, so this is second page. Let's have a little look through the second page. That's nice. I think, Tony likes black and white. He likes abstract. He's trying to capture something with movement. There's some interesting images here. If I was going to select a sort of portfolio of them, wow, there's some really things, there's some interesting stuff going through my head at the minute. I'd love to edit his portfolio for him. Okay, so I'm going to work backwards here. Look at that. It's really interesting. I think the problem with Tony's work is it's on Flickr, and it needs a website. It needs to be put on a Wix site, a Verb site, a Pixelwrite site, something which you can do quite cheaply, and Wix and a few others for nothing, but actually have an edit of your work, and it'll sort of show us more of your refined vision and how you see stuff. Because I can see with Tony's work, he's got a really good eye, and it's all so jumbled. I couldn't sort of put stuff together because I haven't got that editing facility. But I'm going to go through a few of them. And I think, especially on page 1, I saw links with pictures with each other, and I could see almost diptychs together. This looks like Paris or somewhere. Maybe it is Italy or something. Let's have a look. Is there any... Walker, Warsaw, must be maybe Germany or something like that. So I think there's a really interesting set of images here which need editing. Say this, if you look at this, if you look at this, these three images here, I'm not sure what that advert is. I see it almost a sort of triptych in a sense of how it's presented. So there's a running first shot, second shot, third shot, actually displayed with that frame, a white frame around, as one shot. And I think there's a few of his images which I think lend itself to that. There's a little bit of sort of, feels like New York 1960s Gary Winogrand or something like that. It's really interesting. But, like if you get them three images there, I'd like to see them maybe with that. Because it's just sort of standalone shots with shots which are together with the triptychs. And like that, look at that. There's definitely a need for this to be edited to sort of, if you get that shot there and them three shots and take away other shots and put these other shots in another portfolio, another sort of gallery of vision in a sense, then it might be quite an interesting setup. And like this, look at that. That's beautiful. And there's another shot I've just noticed as well. There's that shot there. And this shot. So let's have a look. Look at this. That's really interesting. I like. So I see that definitely a sort of link between that shot there and this shot. Oh, that's such a great portrait. If you can remember this shot, because I'm new to this type of screen recording, but I'm going to go back onto the first album if I can. And yeah, I'll go this way. And there's an absolutely fantastic portrait. You see, look at that. Look at that. See, this is absolutely stunning. And I think, I keep saying it, they need an edit. You know, look at that. You know, I'd like to see maybe that linked with that. Not as a sort of diptych of two pieces of photography pictures together, but just as an edit. You know, if you're this abstract, you could put something like this shot there, and then that together. A sort of Dada 1939 or something like that. Let's go back. I want to show you a portrait which I noticed before, which I absolutely love. Look at that. That's fantastic. I wonder if I said to Tony, give me your best 20 shots, I would be interested to see what he come up with. If you think of these three here, that is a triptych. They're just the relationship with each one in the hat and the movement, and you can see the sort of motion in that triptych. There's a lot of connection between these shots. I'm trying to find the portrait I spotted before because I absolutely loved it. That's fantastic. What a beautiful portrait. And there's some music stuff. Definitely Robert Franke type shot. I think, look at that as well, and that could almost be like a diptych together, couldn't it? You could almost run even three of them. You could almost run all them together as a piece of artwork. So I see a lot of connection with the pictures. I see a lot of connection with images to have with each other images within this. I think. Like, look at that. I think the way it's presented is wrong. I think to really appreciate the skill Tony is illustrating here, it needs to be in an edited format, because for me, presentation is the key. You can shoot and you can put all the work into getting these images, but if you can't present it in a way which is going to make some sense to the viewer or let the viewer work around the narrative easy, you're wasting your time. And I just think, you know, these are fantastic portraits. I love them, absolutely love them. I think if you start taking them apart and start thinking about an edit and seeing them together, I think in another, you take them and put them into another entity and another format. I think you've got something really interesting here. So Tony, I think my advice to you is go away, print each photograph out about A5, every single photograph A5, put them all on the floor and start looking at them and start looking at how each picture links together and forms some story. Then you could start putting them into sort of galleries, into different stories. You'll also see what you're missing. You'll also see new ideas. You'll find new ways to create images. It gives you a purpose. You'll look at a group of pictures or something which you've shot and go, wow, I never really saw this as a little narrative. I'm going to keep shooting that. And I think this is what printing it out and putting it all on the floor, get a cup of tea and just start looking at it. And I think we forget that we sort of forget how much the internet takes away the intimacy of having photographs. Whereas, I'm old school, having prints and things like that in my hands. And even for my latest projects, I print everything out, I look at them, I put them on the floor, and I observe it, and I see how images work together. And then I start the editing process. Then I edit, and then I put a B pile and the pile which are working together. And I keep the B pile handy, because once I start developing that, I'll find stuff in the B pile I could put back. But also, something in the B pile might give you another idea. And I think presenting that at a website is the next step, and a proper formatted website, which you can do really cheaply, or you can actually do for free. And yeah, I love it. I hope it made some sense. I love these portraits. Let's just have a quick look at these. Look at them. Look at that. Yeah, some nice stuff, Tony. I hope you found something I said of relevance and interest and understood what I was trying to say. If you want to follow Tony, Flickr site, Tony Lionni, yeah, I'll let's see if you get your website together. I'll have a look at that, Tony. Thank you.